And,
From Texas.
Mr. Speaker, I want to yield to another gentleman from Texas, Dr. Paul. I'm going to ask him to try to do it in 2 minutes, and I may yield an additional time if he needs it. 2 minutes.
Gentleman's recognized for 2 minutes.
I ask unanimous consent to revise and extend my remarks.
I
thank the gentleman for yielding, and I thank the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Barton, for bringing this very important issue to the floor. I would also like to compliment the gentlemen and ladies on the other side who have spoken out against this resolution, because I have to compliment you on. You are brave to be able to come up here and speak your beliefs and really come out on the position of for taxes. If I did something like that, I couldn't return to Texas. But I have to admire you for the willingness to come here and take a pro-tax position. But so I think that's to be commendable. I really only have 2 minutes, and I really can't do that right now. I would like to suggest to our side that if we all in the Congress did a better job in following the Constitution, we wouldn't need this amendment. Because if we took our oath of office seriously, if we followed the doctrine of enumerated powers, if we knew the original intent of the Constitution, this Congress and this government would be very small, and therefore we would not have to be worrying. And the other contention that we have and we have to think about is, if we do not already follow the Constitution in so many ways, why are we going to follow it next time? Nevertheless, this is a great debate. I'm glad I'm a co-sponsor. I'm glad it was brought to the floor. We do have to remember there's another half to taxation, and that's the spending half. It is politically unpopular to talk about spending. It is politically very popular to talk about the taxes. So, yes, we're for lower taxes, but we also have to realize that government is too big. They're consuming 50% of our revenues and our income today, and that is the problem. Government can pay for these bills in 3 different ways. One, they can taxes, one, they can borrow, and one, they can have the tax of inflation, which is indeed a tax. We're dealing here only with one single tax. But eventually, when we make a sincere effort to get this government under control, we will look at all 3 areas. We will limit the borrowing power. We will limit the ability of this Congress to inflate the currency to pay the bills. And we certainly will follow the rules of this House and this Constitution and not raise taxes. Thank you.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman from Virginia.
Mr. Speaker, I recognize the gentleman from Massachusetts for 5 minutes, and I believe he's going to yield to the gentleman from Michigan.
Yield 10 seconds.
Gentleman's recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Paul, before you go out, thank you very much. I just wanted to explain one thing to you, sir. This is not a debate about those for taxes and those against taxes. So you misunderstand our position. Our position is not for enshrining corporate loopholes to the tune of $450 billion in a constitutional amendment, sir. It's not about being for taxes. I'm not for taxes. I'm trying to keep you guys from enshrining this $450 billion loophole.
Could the gentleman yield? You mentioned my name.
I did, and I'm happy to yield, except I don't have the time.
Gentleman from Massachusetts controls the time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.